Hello, hello, hello. Happy Red Monday so far. How is everyone doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, bloody Monday morning so far. The only green on my screen is the VIX. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Sashi. SPY 3930 today and 3700 this week for the midterm bottom. We will take a look. Good morning, Wavy. Good morning, Ken. Glad I'm not in the market today. Will we see a bump or dump? Well, the potential short-term bullish patterns got invalidated with this sell-off, so we'd have to find new ones. But so far, there's not much besides there's a mini little double bottom in the S&P and Dow, which did complete. And so we'll check in after that to see if there's anything else. But it is looking pretty red so far. May trade four figures before we know it. We shall see. Wow, you're even more bearish than I am, Wavy. Uh, let's see before we get started. Well, there's people are getting bearish, so maybe I should start looking for that bottom again. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers, please keep leaving some comments and like the videos, and also check out the weekly sector overview. So we have Bostic still, yeah, virtually. I don't know if his speech is done yet. We have wholesale inventories coming up in about 55 minutes, but not much else today. We've already FOMC still the 50 basis points, still in negative gamma territory. We don't need to talk about that. Earnings this morning, I know Planter, as I call it, but Palantir is getting crushed. So that's about it. Remember that closed below the 62.5 a while ago, and just continues lower. Let's take a quick look at that. Here you go, down. Pausing briefly at the harmonic, now rolling over, but this is ugly. $8. We're tracing, remember, closed below 62.5 a long time ago. Pausing at 75, pausing 87.5. Now below the hole, it's retraced its whole move. So, oh boy, just want to touch on that. That's why, don't doubt that some of these things can blow up longer term, especially with the valuations. We covered yesterday the potential short term came nowhere near trading. You have to analyze both sides of the market so you are prepared, but that is off the table now. I'll just show you for educational purposes. You had this little double earlier today, which, look at this, hitting, spiking up, pulling back, then stalling out at that final target. Just wanted to show you that for people who are trying to learn things. Let me switch cameras here so I'm looking at all my screens properly. Again, when you see me looking around, I'm in front of multiple screens here. So, watching this little flag pattern into the open, we had that, remember, that closed below 62.5, and now we've completed the full move down. So, going to see if there is any bounce. Let me reverse these at this point. So again, if we do break to the upside, I'm going to pretty much be using the harmonics. You had this breakdown zone that we traded below overnight, and now retesting with the 25% harmonic. We get a move above there. I'm then focusing on the 37.5, about 40, 76, 77. Then I'm really focused on any bullish move at this 50% retracement, 40.92. So those are my levels. Can't get at all, besides very micro bullish, can't even get short-term bullish until you get back above about 41.07. We will be seeing if this little flag pattern breaks onto the open. Now, if it comes back down here and we do form another bottom down here, longer-term viewers know how to map out a potential double, then I would be watching for that and on the move above that 25% harmonic with those double patterns, but we're nowhere near that. That's what I'm keeping an eye on for people who are going to be watching this throughout the day. Longer term, by the way, this potential double is still in place, but we're a long way out from triggering it. We've virtually come down just from the harmonic, but we have, even if we came down and tapped this area about 40 40.25, you'd still have that short-term potential double that would set up. Below that, though, 39.94, 39.62, and then 38.68 are the harmonics levels lower. Also, you are on any rally now. You see how far down we are. So all this prior support area is resistance. So it's got some major heavy lifting. You see the weekly rotation zone. You now have, with this break, again, lower. We were hovering there at the end of last week, but especially with today's break, even if you get some strong bounce, some momentum move to the upside, you're now going into major prior support becoming resistance. Just wanted to point that out. Let's see who else. Wavy can't help being bearish. Wong gone, Missy Cathy is gone. Yeah, Elon hinting towards his death via Twitter. Well, all his drug dealers are going to come up to haunt him. All his little jaunts to Mexico are eventually going to come back to haunt him. Good morning, Jacob. Something very bad is on the horizon. I do agree with you, Wavy. I do agree. I'm just joking. Long term, I'm bearish. Why we analyze both sides of the market is because we have to be prepared, especially in bear. It's easy to be bearish now. You have to watch for those bounce patterns that rip your face off. And then everybody tips the boat to the other side, and then we wait to get, set up our positions again. That's why we got to keep in mind both sides of the market. And also we have that negative gamma. So can anything happen and we get that rip your face off rally? Yeah. But longer term, we're still leaning bearish. I'll be watching for, especially if we do sell off this week, for a potential short-term capitulation bottom. But I don't have that pattern yet, and you can't sort of predict a capitulation bottom because could it happen tomorrow on turnaround Tuesday? Sure. Could it happen at any point when we get this, when people start tipping so bearish, and then you get that reversal pattern and the bulls step in to buy short term? Then we'll watch for that little bigger bounce. NASDAQ stalling out at this cluster area. By the way, again, the double that we were watching is off the table. Never came close to triggering. So we were prepared, but you see here stalling out on a closing basis at this key harmonic. There's really just the same thing. The flag pattern going into the open. So that's what will be watching on to the open. See that in a really nice flag pattern. And then back to here. Let me just adjust this real quick. On to here, we can do our harmonics coming down. And let's see if there's anything. Now, your major resistance, let me bump down some of these levels. So even on a rally, you're looking at about 12,548. Minor, let me see here. Minor, I'm watching this little prior harmonic, 12,463 with the rotation zone. And I'll be keying you off the 1 hour rotation zone in the morning, because if it does rally 12,551, 12,548 with the rotation zone, can't even really start getting it all like even short-term bullish until we get above 12,645, and the 50% harmonic from this move is back at this 12,950 area. Next push lower, if we roll over on the open, we'll be watching for retest as lows, the 12,343 area. Then the next, let me do this. Let me just put up these little harmonics, the short term, and see if we have another. Yeah, there's the next cluster, 12,270 to 12,260 on a rollover if it really gets hammered after the open. Let's see else who is Tesla's coming to see retest of 62 from here and a rollover. We'll take a look at Tesla in a second. Good morning. Hey, welcome back, Wizard 661. Good morning. Curious, depending on your starting point and end point, 408.71, where's the 50% and 62.5 retracement points? We can jump over to Qs in a second. Good morning, Christoph. We crashing so sad. This wouldn't call this a crash. This is actually just really standard selling. I would not call this a crash. Now we could get into that just blistering selling again where people just throw in the towel, and that would be more so akin to a short-term. I wouldn't call it a crash though. I'd call it just a dump, market dump. Here's on the Dow again. We had this little really nice double coming up, now reversing a little higher. That was the only thing I had from the bullish side this morning. And we'll be watching again. This flag looks like we're getting a little move to the upside, at least in the Dow. A little potential bounce. This pattern off the table right now. So if you're watching this for the Dow, again, you can map this out at home. But I'm really then watching if we get in the 1 hour rotation zone first, where we're sitting. If we get above 32,531, what am I focused on? Then I'm really watching 32,688, and then I'm focused on about 32,895. Let me get over to the Qs real quick. Qs, this little potential bottom, we're down here. It is still potentially in play, but the next level's lower. Let me pull these off and put on some new levels. The next level's lower. I know we got those Q levels. The next major level's lower, 301.95 now and 298.81. Even with this little slight push lower, you do have the double still in play unless we really start breaking down. I could map it out in a bit, but if you got that 301 level, that would be off the table. And for your retracements now, your short-term retracements, again, since we're opening down here, there's no strong pattern yet besides this little potential double. I'd be keying off the harmonics of about 308.25, then about 311.40, and then major would be 313.40 on any snapback rally. So those are the levels I'm watching on the Qs. Let me jump back to the Russell, which I am just super bearish on long term. Again, bottoming pattern never triggered. Why am I super bearish on this? As I touched on yesterday, we're clearly down below major resistance. This is the last thing I'm looking at for any bullish plays. This is off the table. Also, that we're stuck at this harmonic, so any rally would be back to 1860. DAX coming back down to the next harmonic I put on yesterday, 13,406 area, trying to find a little support there, but now resistance coming in about 13,640 on any rally. You need a close above that, and then I'd be watching about 13,790 to 800. Crude, even a little pullback right here. I'm keeping an eye on this 4 hour. We could come up and make a triple top. I'd need a close below about 106.19. Then I'd watch for the bigger pullback, especially to 104.08. But I need a close on a 4 hour below 106.45. Gold even pulling back. Watching for this, we do have a potential double on here, which means trading around a core position. Then I hold longer to unwind at higher levels. If it does break below this 1853 area, then 1837 is my major support area. Silver's just acting like a dog. Again, I'm at holding off on adding until we get some bottoming position notes. We had this little potential reversal play down there, which is off the table. As you see, never triggered. We made lower lows, so that is off the table. Little snapback rally right now. Key area I'm going to focus on is about this 118.08. This is not a double, by the way. Dollar index still getting selling pressure up here. If it does push higher, 104.47, 104.98, I'm watching on a closing basis about 103.12. As I said, VIX was, notes are now the only other thing green, but the VIX pre-market sitting about this just below this harmonic right here. If we do push higher, I'm watching 35.35, then 36.64, 38.10. we have this little little sloppy head and shoulders I reviewed yesterday, but that's with this pop-up, it's going to invalidate that. So that is off the table. We'll not be looking for those levels. What I will watch for is it would need to get a close back below 28.85. Then I'd start watching for a longer midterm bottom in the markets. Tesla, Ken, you asked about the 62.5. Yes, this could even, you do have things down here now. 831 sitting against this key significant level around 828. I'd be watching for, again, if we did get a little move up on the open, the gap play. And then everything now, you have all this prior support becoming resistance, and it's roughly at that 62.5. So yes, you could easily see a return. It's not just the magic 62.5. It is all this prior support. All the people who also bought in here are underwater. So again, on pops, this is a really interesting sell area, and you are against the daily rotation zone. And remember, we closed below on Friday, so longer term, 812, then 755 at least. So on pop plays, watching for the next rollover. The only thing I'd be watching on the open, because Tesla has that tendency to fill the gaps. That's the only thing I'm watching for, the gap fill. So do your harmonics to the close on Friday right around 866. So Tesla is in bearish mode. Where do we sit? How do you prefer to play your flag patterns? I prefer on the flag patterns to watch it break down. I prefer to watch a break and then a rollover retest. So break, because you have stopping points. I like to see it break. Why flags are somewhat challenging. Let's just say we broke down below here on the open. Here's the next stopping point. So I like to see a breakdown and a little bounce and then a rollover play to confirm that it's really breaking. That's my preferred way. I'd rather miss the trade than try to get stuck in a bad trade. Hey, Waka Waka, what a drop. Margin calls today? Well, maybe. NASDAQ showing a bear flag on a 3-minute chart. I'm not going to the 3-minute chart. We have a bear flag on even a 15-minute chart. So again, as Jake asked, I'd watch for the breakdown. Here's the stopping point, 12.4, and a retest and a rollover. That's my preferred way, and you can watch that even on a 5-minute. And especially if the rotation zone rolls over, that's the way I really like to play those. Thanks, Flacco. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to touch on another thing is, Bitcoin. Remember, we got that close below the 62.5 level. I've reversed this. I reversed this a while ago. I'll just go back. I reversed it actually last night. But we got that close below 62.5, favoring 87.5, and then it was actually this way, But at this point, we're back down to those lows. So that is all off. Again, all this support becoming resistance, and Bitcoin, this could cause people some pain. Next levels down is about 31.6. And then 30, and long term, I've talked about that before. I'm expecting 20Ks. But anything with this is sell the rallies in the cryptos. Just wanted to touch on this because this could provide some additional pain. And, you had some interesting price stuff with UST over the last couple days. So I think there's more stuff in the crypto market is unraveling. With that, I gotta now jump back, prepare for the open. Gonna watch. I've already covered it. Gonna watch those flag patterns going into the open. Other than that, we will be back. If something major happens, I will do like if we have some major drop or something, I will come on around noon to do a live stream. If nothing significant's going on, then I'll just be back this afternoon for a recap and help us position for tomorrow. If you don't have a good trade, Don't force it. If you're long in stuff, know where your stops are. Okay, and again, I'm still watching things for good pullback plays in consumer staples and stuff like that. Watch the sector overview if you know what I'm focusing on for potential stock plays. You are welcome, Wavy. Trade well, you too. Yeah, and don't be a hero. Don't try to just call a bottom if you don't have a trade. There's nothing to do. I will talk to everyone later. Again, stay safe with your trading, manage your stops, and don't chase the market up or down. Just wait for your setups. Bye for now.